there and welcome to another Star Wars Shatterpoint Battle Report. This time we're back to doing some commentary. We just had a grand tournament this past weekend in Vancouver, BC, and it was 8 rounds of Swiss, even though there were 19 players, and also Geoff, who's been on the channel a couple times, was available to play the bye, so that no one was having to sit out for any rounds, so that was very nice, I'm sure, for those that ended up with the bye. And so this is technically round 6, but I'm starting with this one as kind of a quality check on the recording and that sort of thing, because I'm hoping that I can get some co-commentaries going for some of the other rounds. And this particular terrain setup was painted and done by Matt LaRose, one of our locals here, who does a great job of his painting. He's held some painting competitions and other community building things, so he wasn't playing in this tournament. I think he might have been playing one of the other game systems, and so yeah, featuring his very nice, I think Nar Shaddaa inspired terrain for the recordings here. So I've also tilted the camera compared to before, so Mark is going to be at the top. Maybe I should switch these. So Mark is at the top with Mundi and Mace Windu, and he's swapping in Phil and Phil's clones from the Kit Fisto box into Mace's squad, and we're keeping Shakti with Mundi and swapping in the ARFs. And then so they'll actually have 8 force points, and then Geoff is going with kind of the classic tried and true Iden Moff. We're kind of bugging him that he was going a little hard on these people that are just getting in a bye game, but apparently Mark said not to go easy on him and to give him a hard match. So here we are. We're getting Iden Moff versus Republic here, but this particular list should have enough force to get through any extra reserve costs or be able to keep up with their abilities. So let's see how it goes. There were quite a few recordings where I did kind of forget to get it started and miss a couple rounds. So this one I think I just missed one turn. It looks like Mace has moved up a little bit. They're on Sabotage Showdown, and it must be Shakti that's gone. Oh yeah, there she is on the kind of the far right objective. And then the IFF are going, and I think they're in the middle of a couple attacks. So the ISF seems like the second shot is getting 2 damage and pin through. And they just went over. She took 5 damage, pin and strain on that activation. So the one's gonna climb over to that objective with Shakti. The other one must be below or near the high ground on the other side to score 3 points there. I'm not using my struggle tracker because theirs is on screen, to left over here, so we'll be watching that throughout the game. Sounds like Commander Phil is going for Mark. And so no tactic on him. He does have grappling hook, just like Luke Skywalker secondary. So he's going to use that to climb up, get a hunker, take cover for another hunker, and be able to steal that point for 4. I guess being up on that high ground terrain, line of sight is probably blocking to be shooting at the ISF. Otherwise, you might try to take a shot just to get. We specialize in making entrances, an opportunity for that, so that he could advance a Jedi forward. So I guess maybe could have shot before doing the climb, but now he's double hunkered, so it'll be a little more difficult to remove. Looks like Death Trooper Escort told Moff to do a dash, but it should just be Galactic Empire supports for him. But anyway, he's going to take his tactical advance, make a focus action, take a shot at Shock T. So getting a strain 3 damage through, which I think will be enough for the wound. So getting the wound sets off Iden's identity, giving him a heal and a dash. He's going to do a climb, be up on that point, flip it for 3. Sounds like Mark is picking Mace. It's going to do rush to action, choosing the ARFs to dash them in. And then Mace will also get his dash. Just FYI, you may hear the newborn sleeping on my lap, making weird noises from time to time. But anyway, Mace is going to do a move action, get engaged with the ISF. It's going to spend 1 to reroll 1, fail. So getting 3 steps for 6 damage and a strain. And then that was in Fapad, so gonna swap into Jedi Master for defense. Geoff's pulling Moff Gideon now. Sounds like he's close enough to give Iden the dash. He's gonna dash towards the middle. Looks like he might be going over towards Mace, actually. I mean, he does have the point on the other side of the board kind of locked down, so not bad to shift towards the left. So swapping into Burned Him Out to attack Mace. Probably going to attempt to shove him out of engagement, just that he's not giving out his protection and steadfast. getting the extra die from his you have something I want. Gonna get a hit from the ISF being within 5. Gonna do 7 damage down to 6. 2 shoves down to being 1 shove. And then gets his active ability on the 5th step there. So the ISF are going to do Long Live the Empire, take 2 damage, become wounded, then swap to being injured. And so they'll be back to full health. And Moff is contesting it from the ground, so he will break the tie in his favor, and that will do get 4 points for him. So deciding to take the other track, doing 1 less damage, strain and expose, because he doesn't really need to shove him, he just needs a follow-up to get in range. Mark's getting the Shatterpoint, he's going to use on Mace, and take the dash even though he's strained. And so it looks like he's possibly moving in to get a second wound on these ISF. He's giving Phil's clones dashes. I'm up in between. And I guess, yeah, he had swapped into Jedi Master, so I guess he would have refreshed to Force and healed. Or should have, I guess. Which should have gotten rid of the strain. But I'm not sure if you missed that and just assumed people are usually in Vapad to get the focus and impact. So one-shotting them with 8 damage and disarm. So yeah, realizing he should have 2 momentum because he's now wounded the ISF twice. And which also means that a Jedi should be getting a heal and a dash twice. So it looks like he's going to use the supporting fire heal from Phil's clones. So taking the dash with Mace off of Mundi's identity. Scoring 3, hitting 0. Both get a momentum. Now he's in position to threaten the back point over there. But whenever Mundi goes, could give him a dash. He's gone with Shakti and Shatterpoint, so that won't be doing it. But let's see. That objective. Okay. Yeah, he'd have to attack someone on that objective in order for it to go toward the advance towards. Iden's gonna go move. Give Gideon a dash. Hask, I should say. I think Mark is now realizing that by activating him with Mace with the Shatterpoint, he gets his heals at the start of the turn. So Iden gets her first dash off her tactic. She's going to pay a force to get another dash. Looks like we're going for a back point here. Probably going to go for a wound on Phil's clones. Yeah, taking the move action. Doing a melee attack with Iden. He probably could have positioned to be range. I don't know if he's trying to get rid of a hunger token or... Although he could use the Seeker Droid for that as well if he needed. But anyway, gonna do a melee attack. Get one more from Gideon. Moff Gideon. So I'm gonna do 7 pin expose. He could have just done pin twice, I think, to get the 8. But he's gonna do Seeker Droid to give another expose to do the last damage. Get the there. So we will be flipping that point. Get a heal and a dash. It's not really going to do anything. But he could give... Let's see. Could probably toss a strain or disarm at Commander Phil, but if he's within 4. But scoring 4 here, so very close to winning this struggle. Mark is getting the ARF troopers. They could, if they can get to that mid-right point, they can outbody Death Trooper. Or if they go over towards Iden, they could also outbody and flip that. But pulling the plug on this struggle, just gonna try and set up for the next struggle. So one of them's gonna go sit on the center point. It's also gonna help his ability to use coordinated fire expose. So not a bad plan. So I'm gonna take some shots into Iden while they're at it. After the defensive maneuver and move actions. Well, action and ability, I guess. So 3 damage, pin, expose, shove. Just gonna bump into the Phil's clone there. Before the other one takes a shot. Gonna score 2 and a momentum. We're not crossing 0. And so now Geoff has one more turn before he scores out this struggle. So this will be kind of a setup turn. Sounds like you're getting the Dark Troopers. They're gonna move forward, attack the ARFs. I'd maybe get into melee, although I guess he does want to leave them back on that other objective just to secure it for next struggle. But they'd get an extra die, and the ARF would lose their hunker and cover from terrain if he got into melee with them. But I can see why you would hold them back and then also save yourself a force. So pin 3 damage on the first shot. So another pin and 3 damage. We'll get the wound with 7 health. he doesn't want to wound them, so just going to do the 2 damage. And oh, could have done the shove and 2 damage, or shove 2 damage pin to get them 1 away, but 2 away will be 2 damage will be quite easy for this team to accomplish as well. Doesn't want to waste the momentum from getting the wound. So we've got the lines across. Obviously going to pick the one where Iden isn't, although he may have completely vacated that point, his back point. So yeah, I think we're sitting with Arf scoring 1, Gideon's going to claim 1, and then Mark's back point is empty currently, so kind of have to backtrack for that. I don't know who he... Oh no, I guess Mundi's over there. That's right. I mean, he'll kind of ends up having him stuck there a little bit, but I think he might be the last. Well, no, Phil's clones haven't gone yet. He is picking Mundi here, which, yeah, you could give Mace that dash, tie up the point with Gideon Hask, get that ready to take at some point later. So, yeah, with the Mundi pull, now he's getting the 2 objectives. Hopefully one of them is the priority point if he's rolled for that, and then tying up the point with Mace. So that's a pretty good first turn there for Mark. Who's gonna dash out of engagement with Mace? And it's gonna shoot Mace, coordinated fire strain, an extra hit from the ISF nearby. He's gonna get 5 damage through on this attack. 2 steps in the expertise. And score nothing, so he's gonna just kind of let this struggle go and prepare for the next one. I do think that's probably a good plan, given that the ISF are already sitting with 2 injured tokens, so whenever they activate, next will be their last turn, so you don't want to end up taking them off the board in struggle 2 and then be bodies down for struggle 3. Mark's gonna get Phil's clones. He's already sitting with all 3 objectives for 4 points, which, as long as he gets if he can get a wound, would finish the struggle for him. Though he doesn't need to rush. But it is kind of nice to go into a new struggle with a fresh deck. So, doing a climb, but don't know that Iden is wounded. Maybe she is, I guess. Because, yeah, we're going for the kill here. But maybe he had room to dash out of engagement before those climbs. Oh, okay. Now they are realizing that probably shouldn't have been able to do those climbs. Alright, so Phil's clones are just going to do a melee attack, try to get wound on Iden, which would end the struggle. Just getting 1 damage through on this attack. So didn't quite get the wound there, so not quite finishing the struggle. Although Geoff is pulling his Shatterpoint now, so not bad to let that activation go on this struggle so that he can't use it for a big turn. Start struggle 3. So spend 1 with Iden, 2 covert operations, get focus and sharpshooter. Shoot Phil's clones. So I'm going to do 5 damage and expose. Again, kind of tee them up to be wounded later. And then just going to move away towards the center left point. Score nothing again, get momentum. So Mark will be taking the struggle on this turn. And so Commander Phil getting pulled on this turn. He's not in a bad spot currently to be on that point. Probably, well, yeah, the ISF are wounded. So, not a bad idea to wound Iden, even though it kind of wastes the momentum. It just will really limit what Geoff can do with quite a few bodies wounded. I mean, I guess it'll just be ISF and Iden, but more bodies wounded, not a bad thing. So then they have to be woken back up at some point. So on to struggle 3. Alright, so looks like we're getting the kind of play button. And so not a great flop for Geoff, as Mace is sitting on 1, Phil's clones on the other, but he is controlling the 3rd point with Death Trooper Escort. The ISF are going to wake up on this one, so it's not terrible. I mean, can definitely go wounds Phil's clones, take that point. Not sure what the priority is. Could also get a wound on the ARFs, get a couple momentum here. So he's gonna just do a move for the dash, attack Phil's clones, get an extra hit from Iden being within 5. And 2 damage, leave them with 1 health left. So not gonna be able to flip that. So the other ISF is moving, just to get in range. So he does definitely need to wound the Phil's clones. He's probably hoping he could also wound the ARF, but it's not happening. So gonna give a strain to Mundi. So then being removed from the board and scoring 1. So not quite what he wanted on that turn. So he really needed the first one to do the wound so that he could get the dash onto the point as well. But it would have costed 3 to do the whole do covert operations for the focus and extra dice in order to guarantee that wound, or both of those wounds. So not really what you want to be doing, using half your force on the start of the deck. Looks like we're getting Commander Phil again. Could definitely get that point that Phil's clones are on. He needs either Shakti or Mundi. Oh, and he is he's getting Mundi instead to go for Death Trooper Escort's point. So realizing that he has to choose a Jedi for the tactic ability in order to get a dash himself. So just gonna give the dash to Phil, hoping to get him in testing range. But that piece of terrain is just in the way enough. Okay, he's going to do a climb. And then I wonder what if he's going to do the attack or take cover before doing a force push. He could do it for 1 because Shakti is wounded. Take 4 damage. Disarm and expose. Down to 3 with protection. Get a shove, which gets him in a better position to do a force push. Maybe. Geoff pointing out that he should be doing a force push here to get a Death Trooper escort off of that point. Or I guess he would have taken, I guess, the reposition to get into position there. So now he flips the point. Score 3. Point is priority. Getting the Shatterpoint really needs to, he does kind of need to be getting 2 of the objectives at least here. Wouldn't be a bad play. Just need to get a shove through on each of those Jedi primaries, which Mace would be the harder one to deal with, but it's gonna go with Moff Gideon. Give Iden a dash. Gideon moving up to the priority point to grab that because it's taking a shot at the ARFs, probably trying to finish them off. So flipping the 1 point for 2. Hitting 0, each get a momentum. Same point as priority for Mark. Gonna go with the arcs. They could just move onto the point, 2 bodies, and take it for 4. Take some shots into Gideon first. Some damage and pin, probably. Before moving on to the point. Yeah, just the damage and pin on the first shot. Getting 3 damage through because it's doubling up on the pin. Points. Get all 3 for 4 points. Geoff is pulling Gideon Hask. Apparently, Mace is a strain away from being wounded. So Gideon is going to shoot the ARF. Yeah, the ARF that's up there. Because he pushed Gideon off, so just had to send 1 over there. Dark Trooper's going to strain. Pushes. Dash. Damage to wound the ARFs. Gonna use Iden's ability to do a strain to Mace, which will wound him as well. Then he's gonna dash onto the fail, which must be the priority for this turn. And then he's gonna spend a force for Long Live the Empire. Give a Dark Trooper a reposition onto Mace's point. So that'll get him 3 points on this turn. Nice play there. And then get another momentum for it not being on his side. 3 momentum out of that play. Shatterpoint Mace. And slice up the Dark Trooper. Mission Critical is just being called. It's probably in pad for this one. Get all the extra dice. So getting 4 steps through. Expose, disarm, and 7. Because he had 6 left plus protection, so just enough to get the wound on them. There were some conditions in there. And so we're gonna get a heal and a dash for Shakti. Take condition off. So we're gonna score 2 on this. Geoff's getting an Iden. Mace is flipping back into Jedi Master for defense. So Iden able to dash Hask right onto the point at the top. It's going to dash herself in engagement with Mace. Spend a force for covert operations. Get her extra dice. And ranged attack. Spending, or swapping into full auto. Spending a force to get exposed through. Not sure if he's doing this coordinated fire strain. Cost a force at this point. 2 shoves and a dash. Wait for 3 again. Each get a momentum. Phil's clones for Mark. I think they could simply wake up and take the point. So they're just going to focus and attack Gideon. Getting 4 damage, shove, and heal. Gideon gets a heal and a reposition off his defensive expertise. Other one's gonna attack, getting a damage and a shove through. Flip it, and then they're removed from the board. So they're getting 3 on that turn. Just getting Death Trooper Escort. Realizing he isn't wounded, so we can't get rid of any conditions. So they're gonna have Dark Trooper do a reposition under the point with Mundi and Shakti. Death Trooper taking a disarm shot with 9 dice into Mundi. So he gets 1 success through for the damage and shove. And then he takes a move action, flip the point. Getting all 4 points because those clones left the board. So, talking through the possibilities with either Shakti or Mace, who's kind of his last possible card, they're determining that basically either activation could only flip 1 point, which lands them on the 0, and then Geoff gets a momentum, or both of them get a momentum, obviously, and then Geoff wins on his next turn. So, a win for Geoff, although a very hard-fought battle for Mark with the Republic team. It does seem that having just 3 Jedi did have an effect, kind of limiting some of the flexibility of some of his abilities, like Windy's tactic and just who he could move when things got wounded. Mace is also someone who provides a lot of force and doesn't use a ton. He did use some of the rerolls, but I'm wondering if maybe wasn't quite getting the mileage out of Mundi's identity, but Geoff was kind of intentionally delaying wounding, probably so that it would be not as easy to get those force discounts from Mundi's identity, although that did maybe come to bite him early in Struggle 3, although he kind of got it back anyway in a later turn, being able to then wound the ARFs, and at that point also wound Mace. So anyway, a nice close game between Republic and Empire on shifting priorities, and as I said, this was 8 games of Swiss for this tournament, so there'll be another 7 battle reports coming, so look out for that.